Namaste. We will discuss about motor today. So last class we have discussed up to uh, yeah up to cement. We are in the second unit now. Cement and cement mortar and concrete. This is a very big chapter comprising so many factors. Even concrete itself is having a one subject in higher studies. So actually, we are discussing in a nutshell. So not going into deep. So we have discussed already chemical composition of cement and methods of manufacturing of cement and different classification of cement. And we also discussed tests on cement, right? So up to this we have completed in last class. So small topic was left, that is define fine aggregate and coarse aggregate. Actually, if, fine aggregate and coarse aggregate has been described as per IS 383, and the test and aggregate is described in IS 2386, right? So actual as per our IS, the major difference means the classical definition of coarse aggregate and fine aggregate is defined as the material which is passing through 4.75 mm sieve is called fine aggregate. The material which is retained on 4.75 mm sieve is called as a coarse aggregate, right? So now we'll start discussing and concentrating on this mortar. So today most probably I will complete up to mortar only. So what is the mortar, and list the classification of mortars. Cement motor, Surkey motor, blended motor. Surkey motor means brick powder motor, right? And different proportions of various motors, works for motors, and preparation of cement motor. Up to here we'll concentrate. And what is a motor? Basically, difference between mortar and concrete. So the mixing of material like fine aggregate, binding material, and water is a mortar. If you mix a binding material, fine aggregate, and coarse aggregate and water, it is a concrete. The basic difference between mortar and uh, concrete is coarse aggregate is extra. And where we use these mortars, generally we use these mortars for masonry works and finishing works, and whenever the Shabbat stones laying like that, so bed works, we are using this mortar. See, let us see my slides. Actually, this class will try to discuss about the definition of motor and different ingredients of motors, and uses of motors, and classification of motors, and proportions of motors for various works, and understand the method of preparation of only cement motor. We will try to discuss here, right? So what is a motor actually? Motor is a paste prepared by adding required quantity of water to a mixture of binding material like cement or lime and fine aggregates like sand. Right? If we add cement, it is a cement mortar. If we add lime, it is a lime mortar. If we add a surki, it is a surki mortar. Like a different mortars, we can be see. Oh, here one video also there. Yeah. So motors are usually named according to the binding material used and their preparation. Functions of motor. Yeah, see functions of motors. So to bind together the bricks or stones properly so as to provide strength to the structure, to form a homogeneous mass of the structure so as to resist all the loads coming over it without disintegrate. These are the functions of motor. So they are essentially required for masonry works and plastering and pointing works. Right. See, addition of cement, sand, gravel, combined drivings. This is concrete. See, motor and applications is a proportion to mixture of cement and fine aggregate and water. 1:3. See, these are the mixed proportion of motors for masonry 1 is to 4.5, plastering 1 is to 4, interior 1 is to 4, exterior 1 is to 6 or 1 is to 5, pointing works 1 is to 1 to 1 is to 3, reinforced brickwork 1 is to 3, foundation work 1 is to 3 to 1 is to 4. These are the mixed proportions of mortar. 1 is to 4 means 1 is the cement, 4 parts of sand. So mortar types and uses. Mortar is a workable paste used to bind the building blocks such as stones, etc. Cement mortar is prepared by mixing cement and sand in suitable proportions, 2 to 8%. 1 is to 2 to 1 is to 8 as there. So this is the fine aggregate passes and CV number 4, that is 4.75, and detailed on 200 micron C. See, uh, cement mortar, lime mortar. Surkey motor are possibly different motors. Yeah, that is about motors. And what are the ingredients of motor? So the ingredients of motor are binding material, fine aggregate, and water. Fine binding material may be cement or lime. Fine aggregate may be sand or cinder. Cinder means yesterday we seen the byproduct which is yeah, yeah. This is a binding material. Yeah. Cinder means the byproduct which is coming from the furnace slag, like even fly ash or some steel factory byproduct like that, and water, preferably potable water required. And what is the binding material? The binding material binds the particles of mix. As such, the durability, quality, and strength of motor depends on the quantity and quality of the binding material. If you use a good quality material, it will be good, right? But fine aggregate sand is commonly used as a fine aggregate for motors, and characteristics of good sand used for preparing motor is chemically inert and clean and coarse, contain sharp, angular, durable grains, well graded sand, free from salts, free from organic and vegetable matter, right? Water, free from organic and vegetable matter, and free from chemicals, conforms of to potable water. Uses of motor to bind the building blocks such as bricks, stones, to carry plastering and pointing works, to survey a matrix, to hold coarse aggregate, to form a joints of pipes, to improve appearance of the structure or external or smooth or finishing purposes we are using this mortar, right? So also we are preparing of molds, also we are using mortar, and to form an even bedding layer for building units means as a bed. So we are using mortar to conceal the defective material of the construction workmanship, means a smooth purpose or ornamental purpose, to cover the whatever the bad workmanship, like if you take after just removing of shutter, is there any honeycombing is there, so we are closing that defective part of honeycombing with the use of mortar. And mortars are classified basis on the basis of kind of binding material, nature of application, and bulk density. Kind of binding material means if it is a mortar is using the compressing with cement, it is a cement motor. If motor is used as a lime, it is a lime motor. If motor is using a surkey, it is a surkey motor, like that. Nature of application, whether it is used for using for plastering purpose, whether it is using for pointing purpose, whether it is using for bed of a any layer or construction, like that we are classifying the motors and special motors, right? Classification of motors may be seen in a small video. Lime motors and sand cement motors and lemons. So here 1:3 with lime is one part of lime and three parts of fine aggregate. So waterlogging areas are exposed positions, right? So 1:2 means one part of cement and two parts of fine aggregate here, like that. Yeah, that is a, different proportions classification of motor, like lime motor, circuit motor, like cement motor or gauged motor, right? So explained very neatly. If you are using lime or fat lime or class A lime, class B, class C lime, so where it is used, it is explained. Circuit means a brick powder which is using for mortar instead of fine aggregate. And here cement motor means cement is using, and gauged motor means some gauge material is using, like means blending material. So lime motor is used for binding material. Lime is used as a binding material, high plasticity, easy to place, good cohesion. But disadvantage is it is not take higher crushing strength. Lime motor shrinks very little, used for lightly loaded parts of structures above ground level. Means I said now that it will not take high loads, high crushing loads. Unsuitable for underwater areas and damp areas where it can be uh, start a hydration process. So Surki motor means Surki is a made motor is made of lime and brick powder. So instead of cement, it is lime is adding here. And Surki is a powder of crushed burnt bats means brick pieces. So sand is replaced by Surki in lime powder means lime mortar lime and brick powder is using instead of our sand, right? So color is black or reddish gray. It is also give less strength, used for inferior works, right? Next is very popularly used cement mortar. Cement is a binding material here. Sand is used as a fine aggregate. Usual proportions is 1 is to 2 to 1 is to 10. So one is cement and the three parts is here sand. So essentially, essential part of many masonry and plastering works, cement mortar is using. So means it is a very high. It will give very high strength and water resistant, and it can be used also useful for underground constructions as well as underwater construction. Also, it is using water tanks. Everything is blasted with the cement mortar only. So suitable, useful for water saturated as oils also. And what is a gauged mortar? Means composed mortar. Cement is added to lime. Means cement and lime both, and makes a lime mortar dense. Lime mortar very dense and strong and economical. Here cement to lime is 1 is to 6 or 1 is to 8. Is 1 is cement, 6 is lime. Right. So classification of motors based on the nature of application, right? Here classification of motor based on material, binding material is we have seen what is lime motor, what is surkey motor, what is cement motor. Now classification is based on nature of application. Yeah. Nature of application, it is whether it is a bricklaying motor or finishing motor. Bricklaying motor is used for brickwork and walls. Composition is deducted based on type of construction and working conditions. Means for brick, for the purpose of laying of bricks, means the bed of a brick layer or course. So it should be a less cement, means a very poor mix we can use. So for external purpose, which is active to against the weathering conditions, we have to be used rich mix which is exposed to the weather, right? So like finishing motors used for plastering works, like architectural works or ornamental works, decorative finishes, we have to use rich mixes. With rich mixes means say 1:3, 1:4 like that, and so means the cement part is more than compared to poor mixes, right? So classification based on the third one is bulk density. Heavy motor or lightweight motor, what we want, right? Classification based on bulk density. Heavy motor means bulk density is greater than 1500 kg per meter cube. Light density means bulk density is less than 1500 kg per meter cube. Heavy quartz and sand is used here. Heavy weight for lightweight motor, light porous and sand from pumice and tough slags is used. Right. Slag is nothing but which is byproduct of a steel factory. Right. And a heavy motor, weight motor used in load bearing construction. Lightweight motor used in light structures where only light loading is required. Means light is very small. And special motors also there, that is fire resistant motors, packing motors means in plumbing works or any leakages, and or the outlet pipe it is coming from the AC, like sound absorbing motors and X-ray shield motors also, special motors are there. And proportioning. So the process of selection of ingredients, cement, sand and water to obtain a motor of desired quality is known as proportioning of cement motor or blending of cement motor. Depending on requirement of strength and suitable proportion of motor has to be used, which is shown in our drawing, right side table. It shows that what is the mix of cement motor we have to be used. Cement motor, it is prepared by mixing of cement and fine aggregate with a minimum percentage of water to ensure proper mixing and desirable workability. In generally expressed as the ratio of cement motor and sand is cm, and the cement motor which is 1:3 used in masonry, plastering, pointing works, and shall be placed in position with 30 minutes of uh, addition of water. So motor can be used within the 30 minutes when we added first water to the motor, right? Cement lime motor is nothing but gauged motor. Yeah. So that is the different types of motors, and qualities of well proportioned cement motor is good workability, high compressive strength, and economy. Right. We'll see another small video, which is also related to mixing of motors. This is same what we see. Yeah, this is same what we have seen. Right. And yeah, see. Yeah, proportions of cement motors for various works. Right, for construction works, waterlogged works, it is 1:3. For mass construction in foundation, 1:4. For brick masonry and arches, it is 1:5. For inside plastering, it is 1:5. For pointing and stone masonry, it is 1:3. These are the different various mixtures for used for the various purpose of structures. This is a good video which is showing the different proportions of cement mortar, and this is the types of mortars. Uh, See here, this is a cement mortar, lime mortar, surkey mortar, and gauged mortar. Gauged mortar is lime and cement. Here only brick bats powder. Yeah, cement mortar. They are rich mixes and lean mixes. Rich mixes means which is having shrinkage. Lean mixes means loss of bonding. So 1:6 to 1:10 is lean mixes, and 1:1 to 1:5 are rich mixes. So let us continue the class, and after ending of the slides, we will see again this video if time permits. Yeah, these are the various purposes of cement mortar and proportions of cement mortar. For plastic outside, 1:4, and pointing work in the stone masonry, 1:3. Reinforced brickwork is 1:3. For damp proof courses, here it is a rich mix, 1:2. Right. Some methods of preparation of cement mortar. So this there is a hand mixing or machine mixing. So hand mixing is done like this. So it is showing how to prepare a motor. Filling the measurement box with sand. If it is a 1:3 mix, 3 parts of sand, 1 part of cement. First of all, we have to mix the dry materials thoroughly from one end to the another end, like 3 4 times. Uniform mix to get uniform mix. Yeah, then mix water, required water quantity. Adding water and mixing it. This is how to prepare a mortar. So that is hand mixing, and the method machine mixing is using with machines. So hand mixing is useful for suitable for small works. Sand is sieved and cleaned. Dry sand is laid, spread uniformly on a impervious platform. Cement is spread uniformly over the sand. Cement and sand mixed thoroughly until a uniform color is achieved. That is, the dry mixes. Suitable quantity of water is added to the dry mix, and the wet mix is thoroughly mixed to get uniform consistency of mortar. So this is about even machine mixing also there, I think so. Yeah, those are the different mixers. This is a method mixing. Machine mixing is suitable for large quantities, and calculated cement quantities of cement, sand, and water are placed in the mixture. By rotating the mixture, the ingredients are thoroughly mixed and get uniform uniform color. Mixed mortar is then poured out for use. The mortar should be consumed as early as possible. Within 10, 30 minutes, it has to be consumed. The mix should be consumed within 30 minutes after the adding of water. So it is advised to prepare cement mortar for one bag of cement at a time. For the mortar to be workable and strong, the ratio of mortar should be 1:2 to 1:8 by volume, right? So whether see the machine mixing also. Machine mixing it is showing. So mixing of mortar by use of mixture. This is mixing. And, this already is- yeah, this is also we have to see that. So rich mixes we are using for grouting works of sealing or plastering of arches, cement concrete surface plasterings, inner plasterings, outer plasterings. Yes, whereas the lean mixes we are using for outer plasterings or brickworks are unimportant works. We are using lean mixes, right? This is what we have discussed today.